Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Before I begin and before I forget, just to let you know that private readings with me are currently available, but they will be closing the beginning of May for quite some time. I don't do them all year round, so if you'd like a reading, make sure you don't miss out. The link is in the description. So on to this reading. Now, before this reading, I just heard healing the collective wound. So I feel that's where we're at. There is a lot of healing that's needed in this world. It's happening gradually. Shifts have been happening. But some of us, including many of you watching, are healed. We've done the shadow work. Whereas others haven't. And so there's no judgment there, by the way. It doesn't mean we're any better than anyone else. But those of us who have been through the ringer, so to speak, need to stand as pillars of light. And through our light and frequency, hopefully help others in the collective start to heal. I do feel that's going to happen. But I thought we'd just get some guidance and look at things that people might need to heal in this reading. So take what resonates, obviously. If it doesn't resonate for you, it could be for people around you. One thing, though, that often comes through is parenting. Obviously, a lot of our beliefs, behaviours, core beliefs, values, stem from our early years, in particular things we were told by our parents. So obviously that's a very important time in our lives. And some of you might have noticed parents and children interactions. I certainly have. And sometimes I just think, goodness, that's, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I look at what they're doing and I just think, goodness, that's not the way to speak to a very young child. Children are very sensitive, and the one I see a lot is a parent scolding a child. The child is maybe wreaking havoc, running around like a bit of a maniac, and the parent says, "Sit down," in a really, really harsh tone. "Sit down, be quiet, calm down." But the parent themselves is demonstrating the opposite. They're not calm themselves. And yet they're telling the child, be calm. Now, children are very sensitive, as a lot of you will know. And they pick up, like animals do, they pick up on tone more than words. So if a parent is scolding, saying, "Sit down," the child's going to copy that, aren't they? And that's what you see a lot in life. Children who are basically mini versions of the parents who are wounded, bringing up wounded children, and so on and so forth. And that's what's happened in our world for centuries. There's just an example, of being mindful of the way we speak with others, in particular children, and the effect it has on them. Even words as well, as I was saying about ingrained beliefs. For some people, what I see is they've got this inner voice that's their parent who said, "Oh, look at you, you're useless," as an example. Which is an awful thing to say to a child, by the way. And the child absorbs that. And that's one of their ingrained beliefs throughout life. Thinking they can't do anything, that's worth anything, for example. So just wanted to share that one because that's something that I do see quite a lot. And I think, parent-child is where it starts, really. And then, from there, education. I think we need spiritual education more than just what they, learn at school at the moment. By the way, if any of you would like extra spiritual guidance readings, I do them monthly on my Patreon. I've just done one actually on there, so do check that out if you're interested. The link is in the description. So I'm going to see with the cards now just what comes through here about the collective wound. Wow. So that is the first one that's showing itself, and over here, I know they're off camera, it's quite interesting the way that's happened. 3 are upright, so we're going to take those, and the bottom of the deck we've got family and tribe. So obviously this links with what I was just talking about, you know, the way things start for many people. I'm getting ancestral as well, ancestral baggage that a lot of us have carried into this lifetime. And some of you watching are here to break that generational curse. And for some of you also to break free from certain karmic family members, because it's number 20, the number of judgment in the tarot. Big decisions for some of you to do this with the tiger. It's about claiming your personal power over who you let into your tribe, because your soul family's out there and it's not always your blood family. I want to say, I know some people, you know, they struggle with that, they might find that difficult to take, but for some who are chosen, the chosen ones, light workers, whatever label you want to put on it, you'll often find that you entered into a karmic family precisely for that reason, you know, to sort of to change things in this world. So some of you might find you've got issues at the moment with family. Do you find that you just keep repeating the same cycle with them, where it's karmic? That's often the case. You know, you might have a disagreement with someone, but then because they're family, you think, oh, I've got to go back and see them again. You know, oh, it's my duty, so to speak. But not necessarily. I mean, how do you feel? How does your soul feel about that? Maybe your soul is telling you something. Speaking of soul, it's interesting we got hole in the soul. This is all about, this card in particular is about wounding from the past. Childhood in particular. So it's interesting, isn't it, how it's come out in the cards. Don't need cards to do readings, but it does confirm. See, she's holding her heart, wounding in the heart, things that have hurt you or the collective, that are still there, and some people don't realise it's still there. But it is. You see it in people's behaviour, as I was saying about parents, you know, not only screaming at their kids, screaming at each other, and then the children grow up to believe that's how you behave with others, you know, if they're holding on to that. So this could be bitterness, envy, rage, all these things swirling around in someone's heart centre. And so instead of showing unconditional love, they release anger, bitterness, rage, and that flies out into the collective, which is not healthy for us, is it? If we have to pick up on that in particular. And see here behind us, like the Grim Reaper saying, come on, it's time to put that to rest. You might, or people might even receive signs of that might be triggers, things that happen that are lessons from the universe, triggering that wound. So there's the wound, the collective wound. But it's about whether people want to go there, because she's in a graveyard here. That's really interesting as well, in terms of the symbolism. You know, like the dark night of the soul. Do you go there? Do you go back into your past, revisit, see where this wound started, and then do you heal it and show yourself self-love, which was the first card out. This has been coming out a lot recently. Or do you stay there in that wound, stuck in a really heavy energy, thinking that everything around you is dark? There is that, sure, but not everyone is in that energy. And if that's the energy you're in, that's the world you create, so to speak. So yeah, really getting family, childhood stuff coming out here, which, by the way, I say this with compassion, it takes a long time to do that work. But a lot of people, I'll say a lot, some people, I couldn't say how many, but quite a lot of people don't want to face that wound. Here's an example. I'm just saying this because I can read energy in people. I've met people before who've said, oh, I'm really grounded and secure. I feel whole, with a W, not with an H. And then they start talking and I see their behaviour and I think that person is spiritually unbalanced. That's what I want to say. Distorted is often the word that comes to me when I see certain people's behaviour. And it comes from a wound, but they don't know that's where it comes from, and they don't want to do the work. They don't want to purge and go there, so they just keep going as they are and don't change. Whereas some people do change, because we got letting go as well that's come out. So this is the guidance to let go of. So even here, I'm just seeing this like a graveyard again. It might not be, but that's what I'm seeing. And these are like dark energies here that some people could be manifesting. It's like skeletons in the closet, so to speak. They come out and they torment you. And it's like she's touching a tree, which can be very grounding. So there's guidance for some of you. Now, the letting go could be decluttering physical stuff as well that holds energy, or the emotional stuff, and putting self-love first before love for others, because that's the other thing. People please, put others first before doing this inner work. And this, with this card, I often get empowerment. See, she's turning her back on that pain that's come out here, collective wound, inner wound, and she's moving through a new door, new chapter, coming out like this one as a whole individual. That's how I see a whole individual. Someone who's very empowered in the light, has completely released things from the past. I do feel that's, as I said, going to happen in the future, where people will move into that energy, and it is about releasing the past, though. Not forgetting, but forgiving, having compassion and self-love for those things we've all been through as a collective. Do you know what I'm also getting with hole in the soul is maybe as a child you, as I said, you were the light worker, the chosen one. But maybe you tried to help in terms of the family dramas that were going on, put things right, pick up the pieces. And that means you adopted a false self. So some people in the collective, as I said about that distorted energy, are not being authentic because they've disconnected from their feelings, needs, desires, you know, not connecting to that self-love, essentially. Wearing a mask to make others feel okay. So maybe in families, just tolerating the way things are instead of empowering yourself, setting yourself free. But that, see, this is a very sad card. You know, that could make some people feel like this, lonely, isolated, wanting that true self. See, with the graveyard, what I'm also getting is it's like some people have put their true self away. They've buried their true self in this graveyard. And they want that true self to come out. Well, you can. You can if you start putting yourself first, your own needs, your own values, your own beliefs, being honest with yourself. I would say it's how it starts. It's interesting I said that. We've got this pile of cards here. I'm not going to take them all, but I looked at the top one, say what you mean. Resonates with what I just said. Being honest with yourself, but also in relationships that you have. It might cause conflict. That's what a lot of people fear, as I said about the false self. You know, instead of coming out of yourself and saying what you mean, what you want to say to your family, friends, whoever it is, people instead lock that away and just put on a front. But then you're not being your true self. Your soul will be feeling it. You might feel very uneasy, you know, and get signs as well. Could even be physical signs. It's interesting, just holding her ear. Physical signs. Because disease means dis-ease. If we break it down, doesn't it? You know, a dis-ease in your soul. Creating that hole, that wound. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, you've really been guided to empower yourself. Speak up in different situations, no matter what the outcome is. What do you have to fear? You know, if it means losing a relationship or even just having a break, but for some it is about letting go of a relationship, so be it. You will find your tribe, as we had there. I'll also point out that we've got soulmate and love at the bottom of the deck. So you will attract your soulmate as well. When you're in that energy, when you're in the right energy, you'll attract the right one who's maybe been through the same sort of thing as you as well. You might even sometimes feel them energetically or see them in your dreams. Okay, so that's really interesting. I pulled out another deck that I'm going to use. Now this is Whispers of Healing. I love this deck. So see any other healing messages. I hope this has helped. Let us know in the comments if it has, if you wish. You don't have to. Wow. We'll just pull that one for now. Sincere relationships, there we go. So again, you know, soulmate, this is what some of you will manifest. if you let go of the karmic situations. For some of you, you're meant to let go of them, because otherwise you'll just keep going around in that cycle. You are not here to heal other people's wounds, whether it's your family, friends, whoever it is. You're here to put yourself first, primarily, not in a selfish way. And when you do that and empower yourself, you will attract sincere relationships, people who mirror you. You'll no longer attract those karmic, toxic energies. People who don't say what they mean as well. They're being fake with you. Maybe you pick up on that in people. Certainly something I can pick up on. I've got a built-in lie detector. I've noticed it for quite some time, quite some years. I can see if someone's being authentic, someone's just lied to me. I just know. So it's not worth people doing it. But anyway, some people are pretty good liars though, so I'm not saying I can with everyone, but there are cues, subtle cues, aren't there? So, anything else for the collective? Being guided to say, try grounding meditation. Doing things to ground yourself. Now, it's interesting, my throat just blocked there, that was channeled, linking to the speaking up. But it could also be with the stuff from your childhood, doing creative things to express yourself, letting out your inner child, your authentic self. What did you love doing as a child, for example? Letting that carefree side of you come out. Yeah, so we've got sensitivity. You might be very sensitive to energies around you. It's said about children before. In fact, you'll become more sensitive the more that you connect with your inner child and do the healing. More sensitive to other energies and what their intentions are. It will help you because to go a bit deeper in terms of children being sensitive, obviously you've probably heard children, like animals, can pick up on not just tone and people's energies, but spiritual stuff as well. I know my cat does. She's taught me a lot. So the more that you go back to that original state and heal, very pure energy of the light, the more that you connect to the divine and your frequency is so high that lower frequency energies can't affect you, but you'll also be very sensitive to them. So you might find you need to pull away more from people as well, or not go to crowded places, because that's another thing, it can be overwhelming. Places are full of wounded souls. It's quite overwhelming. Okay, so we'll take those two as well. Yeah, wow, we got flow and vibration. There we go. So vibration links to what I was saying about raising your vibration, because she's actually up here like a bat, really up high, and you'll see things from a higher perspective and change, like the butterfly here. This is also, by the way, number 14, and this card's 14. 14, 14. So meeting someone soulmate potentially on the same vibration as you. It's interesting, they're both the same sort of colour as well, like a dark blue colour of the throat chakra. So someone you'll be able to communicate with openly, freely. That's going to happen as well because we're moving into the age of Aquarius. So we'll be able to do that more. But yeah, raise your vibration, and you also help others around you to start to do the same. And with flow, I'm getting surrender, just like go with the flow of the universe, the way things are meant to happen. We've got dragonflies, so another symbol of change and transformation. Oh wow, and butterflies. Yeah, that's beautiful. Freedom, I'm getting as well. There's also a spider's web here though. So freeing yourself from that web, that trap. The trap in this world, you know, the lies, deception. If you see it, then you might want to free yourself from it, like this one. Rise up and you'll see it really clearly as well if you detach. That's what I'm getting. It's interesting, at the bottom of the deck we've got control, and it's number 10. The number of completion. Releasing that need to have control. Maybe over others. In the sense, it's not your responsibility, like their healing that is. Your own healing is. She's got wings, free yourself. You are a free, sovereign being. You can manifest anything you desire as well. There's geese, birds in this card, so yeah, symbol of freedom. Geese fly home, don't they? So it could be about returning, for some of you, to your past, in terms of home, you know, revisiting and putting it to rest. Let's just see any other message here. Wow. Transform. Yeah, I just used that word, didn't I, with the dragonflies and butterflies. We've got more butterflies in this card. Oh, that's beautiful. So that's what's happening in the collective, slowly. More and more people are freeing themselves, changing. But see how it's like, what I'm getting here, this lady, she's pulling up this glass, wanting to free these butterflies, but they have to do that themselves. We can't control that. So I was just saying, that's what I'm saying with that one. It all happens in divine timing. So you might see a butterfly as well, or start seeing them. Depends where around the world, but I know here in the UK we'll probably start seeing them soon. So we're in spring. And I'm just, yeah, with this one I'm being guided to it. You are being protected. You have your guardian angel guiding you forward. See, she's like pushing this ship. That's you on the ship. You're receiving nudges, signs from the universe to keep moving forward. I'm going to leave it on that note, actually. I think that's beautiful. But yeah, you certainly might receive signs like a butterfly. That can often be an ancestor coming back to visit you. You might see a ship, you might see twinkling lights, a scent of an ancestor. I'm really getting ancestors now coming through. Something they used to love doing, you see it, you know that's a sign from them. Could be a bird, because we had the geese before as well. She's wearing a very colourful outfit. Not sure if you can see that in the light, like all the colours of the chakras. So that's another sign guidance for some of you. Wear bright colours. I know pink has been the theme recently. Pink or green for the heart chakra. For unconditional love. It's interesting, this card was pink, wasn't it? Yeah. Beautiful. But yeah, different colours of the chakras, bright colours to uplift yourself and others. Okay, everyone, I'll leave that there. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support. If you'd like to send a donation, by the way, the links are in the description. Thank you so much to those who've shown your support, who are members or have sent a donation. It's very much appreciated. Sending peace of a night to you all.